Invite a Budget Blinds style consultant to show you how to transform your rooms just by changing your window coverings. Canada's #1 choice for window coverings. Visit budgetblinds.ca today.
Welcome back. For more than 50 years, Donna Harding has lived as an only child, brought up by her mother and father in Lloydminster. But that changed last October when she received an email from a mysterious man in Oregon claiming to be her older brother. Jeremy Thompson has more on this amazing story.
An email conversation with a stranger changed Donna Harding's life forever. Last year, a man contacted her looking into family genealogy.
So I said sure, and he sent me another email, and this time he disclosed, I'm your brother, or I think I'm your brother, and that was news to me. I always thought I was an only child. I phoned an aunt to say, is this possible? Did my mom have a baby? And she said, yes, Donna, she did.
What was a closely guarded secret between Harding's mother and aunts had finally been revealed. Her brother was born 6 years before her out of wedlock and put up for adoption.
I just feel bad for my mom and what she went through and how she didn't disclose it. It must have been a painful secret for her, so I would feel really sad. There's no resentment.
So, with his newly discovered Canadian roots, it was settled. Harding's American-raised half-brother would drive up from Oregon to meet his long-lost sister. In June 2014, he arrived in Lloydminster.
And I got out and we hugged. I said, long time no see.
But the changes in Harding's life weren't over. This summer, her brother dropped another bombshell, the existence of one more sibling, an older sister.
Again, I went to my relatives and said, is it possible that I have a sister too? Yes, Donna, yes, you do. So it's like, oh, hit me again. I was shocked once more.
Their search is ongoing, but the two don't have a lot to go on.
All we know is that she was born in 1951 in Edmonton at the Royal Alec Hospital and was adopted to a family in Alberta.
She may not even know she's adopted.
It may be a long shot, but the siblings aren't giving up.
Our hopes would be that we could find out more about her.
She needs to know that we want to find her. We're part of her family, and she's wanted. We would like to find her. We'd like to know her.
Jeremy Thompson, Newcap News.
What an amazing story. Well, moving on, in the prairies, there is nothing more exciting than chuck wagon racing and a good old-fashioned barbecue cook-off. The annual Diamond 7 Grill Master competition was held over the weekend, where local grillers come out to show off their skills. Chris Khan has more.
Ribs, spare ribs, pork shoulder, and beef brisket. All mouth-watering barbecue specialties being served in today's Grill Master Challenge, and residents of the border city couldn't get enough.
We love meat, especially pulled pork and ribs, so we decided to come out today and try some.
And for anyone wondering how tasty the food actually is, well, I can tell you, these cooks don't disappoint.
It turns out they're really good. They're really good.
Everybody seems to like good barbecued meat. Everybody's pretty happy with their sandwiches so far.
Organizer Aaron Lundquist feels this is a great event for Lloydminster, one that is much needed in the community.
It's a competitive competition, but we want our competitors to come, be relaxed, and have a good time so they want to come back next year.
The competition is so fierce that these cooks won't let anything stand in their way.
Although Mother Nature decided to bring down the rain, I'm pretty sure the worst of weather wouldn't stop these grill masters.
Last year's winners, the Davies brothers, are back in action.
You come in just for fun, and then all of a sudden they're naming off the names and you realize you're in the top 3, then the top 2, and when we won it was a pretty sweet moment. And considering we ended up with a free barbecue out of the deal, it's pretty hard to beat.
And these are no average barbecues. They're top quality, completely customizable, and can range anywhere from $2,600 all the way up to $30,000.
It doesn't matter if it's 40 below or 40 above. These are built. One of the guys this morning was commenting, he says, these are like military grade plus a little bit. Like the biggest barbecue we have weighs 3,200 pounds. The smallest barbecue we carry weighs about 260 pounds.
Organizers are already making plans for next year. They hope to have over 20 teams and are also looking at doing some barbecue cooking classes. Chris Khan, Newcap News.
Many producers in the region are in a state of agricultural disaster. Well, 25 years ago, it wasn't the dry weather that had many worried about the harvest. A freak hailstorm caught people by surprise and even damaged fields enough to cut yields in half for one local farmer. Ankanaut Fate has the details in this week's Retrospect.
Well, I went up the shop here after supper, and I seen some funny looking clouds. Just looked like a light shower was coming or something. Looked like almost fog developing, and so I phoned the house and told those guys to take a look at it, and then the weather kind of settled down, and then I'm in the shop, and all of a sudden I hear these few little hailstones coming down. I thought, well, we're just going to get a sprinkling of hail with a shower or something. And pretty soon it developed into a full-scale hailstorm.
Dan Scriber farms near Ulkerve. He says from what he can tell, the storm left a track of damage at least 20 miles long.
It ranges from what I can just talk to the neighbors in that, from 1.5 miles to 3 miles wide, and it runs from, looks like from west of Tullaby Lake, 2 or 3 miles, or maybe north of there to east of Lloyd on a slight angle.
Scriber says 13/4 of his land has been affected, with damage ranging anywhere from 25 to 100%. About 10 minutes later, the storm tracked southeast, hitting Frank Keitinger's land, knocking over trees, destroying the family garden. He says about 1/4 of his 4,000 acres suffered damage, cutting his yield in some areas to half on crops that were about 10 days away from harvest.
Total amount of the hail, the length of the hail, was about 8 to 10 minutes. So it came down as just solid hail.
For now, it's a waiting game for the crop adjusters to assess the extent of the damage. But some feel when you deal with Mother Nature, you have to remain philosophical.
It's part of farming.
The Edmonton Weather Office says the thunderstorm did not track strong enough on the radar to issue any sort of severe weather watches or weather warnings. They were quite surprised by the reports of damage. They say the whole problem was probably caused by a localized cell, and they say that's hard to track. Loren Rossico, Broadcast Center News.